In Instant Expert this week, we're looking at Silent Hills, Hideo Kojima's recently announced take on one of gaming's most beloved horror franchises. In doing so, we'll also be looking at PT, the playable teaser for Silent Hills released during this year's Gamescom. We'll start with PT, which is available on the store now. You'll know by now that PT stands for Playable Teaser, but what about the studio name? Well, Koj revealed in an interview during Gamescom that this is an obscure reference to the Japanese gamer slang for Silent Hill. In Japan, Silent Hill is nicknamed Shizuka. Shizuka is a 7,780 square kilometre area whose name translates in Japanese to Quiet Hills, hence the nickname and the studio name of 7780S Studios. When you hear stuff like this, you understand why some of the puzzles in PT are so obscure. Sticking with PT, Kojima revealed in the same interview that although the game uses his proprietary Fox engine, the graphics were deliberately made worse so people would assume it was made by an indie developer. This was partly because Koj wanted people to play something they'd never heard of. He believes that lack of information makes everything scarier. Even the teaser image we've seen was made deliberately basic. It's actually just the back garden of one of the staff members. Obviously PT is full of secrets, but here is our favourite. When the lights go red and the swinging light in the hallway is replaced by a fridge, listen carefully to the echo of the radio explaining how the father committed suicide. The original broadcast says he hung himself with garden hose. The echo, however, suggests that he did it using an umbilical cord. At one point, the fetus thing in the sink also suggests that the killer's wife Lisa was having an affair and her unborn child may have been illegitimate. Tellingly, if you look at the ghost of Lisa, there's an abortion-like stain on her dress. Moving on to completing PT, Kojima actually thought that it would take people a week to complete it rather than the single day that it actually took. This was partly because he wanted people to get together and cooperate, which explains the presence of different languages. Related to this is the fact that the last puzzle has been made ridiculously difficult. Even now, despite the game being completed, the exact methods are still slightly vague. There do seem to be multiple ways of doing it, but here's the most popular explanation as to how it works, and if you don't want to see this, hit the on-screen link now to skip it. Towards the end, when you wait for the clock to strike midnight, you've got to follow the hauntings. Your clue for this is in the text on the picture by the clock if you collect all the hidden pieces. Once the clock strikes, listen for the sound that accompanies the haunting and do the following. If it's a laughing sound, you head to the radio. If it's heavy breathing, you head to the phone, and if it's crying, you go to the mirror. Many internet rumours also suggest you need to plug in your headset to complete it, which is why some commentated live streams of the game have had different results. You'll have to wait for the hauntings and stay in the required place each time. Alternatively, some sources also suggest walking 10 paces will trigger a giggling child sound. Either way, the intention here is to wait for 2 of these giggles. After the second one, let your controller go and don't touch it. When you hear the third giggle, the phone will ring. Go there, zoom in by holding R3, listen to the message, and head to the basement to see the final cutscene. And if you want more info on how to get here, check out Games Radar's very comprehensive walkthrough at the link in the description. We'll talk a bit about Silent Hills itself now, although some of the most fascinating conspiracy-based stuff will be the subject of a deeper video. If we touch briefly on the few interesting possibilities, here's what we get. We already know that horror supremo Guillermo del Toro and The Walking Dead's Norman Reedus are involved. If you go to the MGS website, you'll see that del Toro and Reedus are just 2 of the voices who publicly praised The Phantom Pain. Others include Oldboy and Thirst director Park Chan-wook, Drive director Nicholas Winding Refn, and Shinja Tsukamoto, famous for the Tetsuo films. There is a suggestion because of this that they could be involved as well. And what about that name? Well, this points to the possibility that Silent Hills could be delivered episodically, similar to Siren, Blood Curse and The Wolf Among Us, a theory that would work in conjunction with our previous point about different directors. Alternatively, some fans are theorising the name in fact relates to the idea that there's a personal Silent Hill for everyone. There are also numerous hints in PT that point to the existence of multiple universes, a route that the game will possibly explore. And finally, we're heading into the twilight zone of wild fan theories now, but there are also hints about where the game may be set. The number 204863 appears frequently on PT promotional material. As well as being similar to the birthday of Hideo Kojima, searching for the number will take you to a website which describes the genome for a tree that grows in the northwest United States, suggesting a possible setting for the game. A good fit, since it's rainy, foggy and forested. It's a massive long shot, but this is Hideo Kojima we're dealing with. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait and see. Stay tuned for a deeper look into possible Silent Hills conspiracies and let us know where you think Silent Hills will take the series. We'd also like to hear your thoughts about Kojima being the man for the job. And don't forget you can watch other episodes of Instant Expert by clicking the links on screen now.